Listen to me closely. You are not tired. You are not overwhelmed. You are addicted. Every time your phone buzzes, you are selling your future for a dopamine hit that lasts 3 seconds. You are bleeding potential. The world is betting on your distraction, and right now, the world is winning. This ends now. We are not just fixing your habits, we are building a fortress. If you are weak, click away. If you are ready to reclaim your mind, stay. The siege begins.
Chapter 1. You are addicted to your own destruction. Welcome to the truth. It is going to hurt, but it is the only thing that will set you free. Look at your hand right now, or look at the pocket where you keep your device. That device is not a tool. It is not a bridge to the world. It is a leash, and right now, you are wearing the collar. You clicked on this audiobook because you think you have a focus problem. You think you were just a little bit scattered. You think you need a new productivity app, a new planner, or a better to-do list. You are wrong. You do not have a focus problem. You have an addiction problem. You are an addict, plain and simple. You are addicted to the cheap synthetic validation of a glowing screen. You are addicted to the illusion of connection. You are addicted to your own destruction. We need to strip away the polite excuses. We need to stop calling it distraction and start calling it what it really is: chemical dependency. The dopamine trap. Your brain is wired for survival. It seeks rewards, food, shelter, social status. When you find these things, your brain releases dopamine. It feels good. It tells you, do that again. Silicon Valley knows this. They have hired the smartest neuroscientists in the world to hack your biology. Every red notification badge, every infinite scroll, every ding is engineered to hijack that survival mechanism. They are not designing products. They are designing digital slot machines, and you are the gambler who never wins. You think you are making a choice when you unlock your phone. You are not. You are reacting to a trigger. You feel a pang of boredom, you reach for the phone. You feel a second of anxiety, you reach for the phone. You hit a hard part in your work, you reach for the phone. It is a loop. Trigger, action, reward. The reward is a tiny hit of dopamine. It lasts 3 seconds, then it fades, and you need another hit, and another, and another. You are not looking for information. You are looking for a feeling. You are numbing yourself. This is the hard truth you must accept. The scroll is the enemy. The scroll is the surrender. Every time you swipe down to refresh, you are surrendering your agency. You are saying, I am not in control of my mind. The algorithm is. You are trading your potential for a pixelated pacifier. You sit down to work. You have big goals. You have a vision for your life. But 5 minutes in, things get difficult. The brain feels resistance. So what do? You look for the escape hatch. You look for the phone. You scroll. You see a cat video. You see a political argument. You see someone else living a better life than you. The scroll is the enemy. The scroll is the surrender. You must view this behavior with disgust. You must see it for what it is: weakness. It is an act of self-sabotage. You are taking the most powerful supercomputer on Earth, your human brain, and you are using it to process garbage.
You have a choice. You can be a creator or you can be a consumer. You cannot be both at the same time. The consumer is passive. The consumer is fed. The creator is active. The creator feeds the world. When you scroll, you consume. You surrender. You lose. The cost of context switching. Now let's talk about the lie you tell yourself to feel better. The lie is this: I'm just checking. I'll just check my email for a second. I'll just reply to this one text. I'll just look at the headlines. You think you can jump in and out of focus like a light switch. You think you can multitask. Let me be clear. Multitasking is a myth. It does not exist. The human brain cannot focus on two things at once. It can only toggle back and forth very quickly, and every time you toggle, you pay a tax. Scientists call this attention residue. Here is the math of your failure. You are working on a deep, complex problem. You are in the zone. Then you just check an email. It takes 30 seconds, you read it, you don't even reply, and you close it. You think you are back to work. You are not. A part of your brain is still stuck on that email. It is processing the residue. It takes your brain an average of 23 minutes to fully refocus on the original task after an interruption. 23 minutes. You checked your phone for 30 seconds, but you lost 20 minutes of cognitive depth. If you check your phone 3 times an hour, you have done 0 deep work. You have skimmed the surface, you have moved papers around, you have typed words, but you haven't created value. You feel exhausted at the end of the day, you feel like you worked hard, but look at your output. What did you actually build? What did you actually solve? Nothing. Busy is not productive. Busy is a hiding place. It is a place where you hide from the hard work. It is a place where you hide from the fear that you might not be good enough. So you distract yourself with admin and checking in to avoid facing the blank page. Stop hiding. Start working. The victim mentality.
I can hear you arguing with me. But my boss expects me to answer instantly. But I have kids. But my clients need me. But the notifications just pop up. Stop. This is the victim mentality. You are acting as if distraction is something that happens to you. You act like you are walking down the street and a notification jumped out of the bushes and attacked you. That is a lie. You bought the phone. You paid the bill. You downloaded the app. You created the account. You agreed to the terms of service. You turned on the notifications. You put the phone on your desk within arm's reach. You are not a victim. You are an accomplice. You are inviting the enemy into your home. You are leaving the front door wide open and then complaining that it's cold inside. You are the gatekeeper. Close the gate. If your environment is distracting, it is because you built a distracting environment. If your phone buzzes, it is because you allowed it to buzz. You have to take extreme ownership of your focus. No one is going to guard your mind for you. The world wants access to you. The world wants your time. The world wants to sell you things you don't need. If you do not set the boundary does not exist. You must become hostile to intrusion. You must become aggressive about your space. If you are trying to lose weight, you don't keep a bowl of candy on your desk. So why, when you are trying to focus, do you keep a device designed to distract you right next to your hand? It is time to stop blaming the technology. The technology is just a tool. A hammer can build a house, or it can break your thumb. It depends on how you hold it. Right now, you are hitting yourself in the face with the hammer and blaming the hammer. You are the gatekeeper. Close the gate. This means you have to make hard decisions. It means you might have to be unavailable. It means you might have to disappoint people who want your instant attention. Let them be disappointed. Their urgency is not your emergency. You have a choice. You can be liked for your responsiveness, or you can be respected for your results. You cannot be both. The fortress of focus starts with this realization. You are responsible. You are the problem. And because you are the problem, you are also the solution. You have admitted the addiction. You have seen the cost of the busy lie. You have accepted that you are the gatekeeper. The mental shift is complete. The denial is gone. Now we must change the physical reality. We must take that device in your pocket and we must neutralize the threat. We are going to turn your colorful, addictive toy into a cold, hard tool.
You have accepted responsibility. Now you will execute the protocol.
Chapter 2. Murder the notification. You have accepted the diagnosis. You are an addict. Now we begin the detox. Most people approach this process with weakness. They say, I'll just try to look at my phone less. They say, I'll use willpower. Willpower is a lie. Willpower is a battery that runs out. You do not rely on willpower to keep yourself safe. You rely on systems. You do not rely on your ability to resist the buzz. You eliminate the buzz entirely. We are going to perform surgery on your digital life. It is going to be aggressive. It is going to be uncomfortable, and it is non-negotiable. The binary choice. Here is the reality of your current existence. You are living in a state of constant reactive panic. Every time your phone dings, chimes, or vibrates, your cortisol spikes. Your brain treats that sound like a threat in the jungle. It demands attention. Look at me, it screams. Look at me now. And you obey. Like a trained dog, you obey. A text message comes in. Buzz. You look. An email arrives. Ding. You look. Someone liked your photo. Chime. You look. You believe you are multitasking. You are not. You are being micromanaged by a piece of plastic. You are letting strangers, algorithms, and marketers reach into your pocket and shake you by the shoulders whenever they want. You have a choice. It is a binary choice. There is no middle ground. Option A, you are the master. Option B, you are the servant. If your phone makes a sound, you are the servant. If your phone lights up without your permission, you are the servant. You must understand this fundamental law. Silence is power. Noise is weakness. When you allow noise into your life, you dilute your strength. You give away your authority. A leader does not let a subordinate interrupt them every 30 seconds. A general does not let a foot soldier walk into the war room and scream nonsense during a strategy meeting. So why do you let an app do it? Grab your phone right now. Unlock it. Go to Settings. Go to Notifications. This is where the murder happens. I want you to turn them off. Not some of them, all of them. Instagram, off. Twitter, off. News apps, off. Email, especially off. WhatsApp, off. The only things that stay on are actual emergencies, phone calls from your immediate family. That is it. Everything else waits. You will feel a panic rising in your chest. What if I miss something? Let me tell you what you are actually missing right now. You are missing your life. You are missing your potential. You are missing the ability to think a single coherent thought from start to finish. Silence is power. Noise is weakness. When you murder the notification, you reclaim the initiative. Now you check your phone when you decide to check it. You process information on your terms. You are no longer reacting, you are acting. The world will scream. Let it scream. The noise is their problem. The silence is your weapon. The grayscale method. You have silenced the enemy. Now we must strip away its camouflage. Your phone screen is beautiful. It is vibrant. The reds are urgent. The blues are calming. The interface is designed to look like candy. This is not an accident. It is weaponized color psychology. The red notification badge is designed to mimic the color of blood and danger. It triggers a primal urge to resolve the issue. The bright colors of app icons are designed to stimulate the visual cortex, giving you a tiny hit of pleasure just by looking at them. Your phone is a slot machine, and you are pulling the lever every time you unlock it. We are going to break the spell. We are going to turn the casino into a utility closet. This is the grayscale method. Go to your accessibility settings. Find display and text size. Find color filters. Turn it on. Select grayscale. Do it now. Look at your screen. It looks dead, doesn't it? It looks boring. It looks like a newspaper from 1950. Good. Make it boring. Keep it useful. That is the mantra. Your phone is a tool.
It is a hammer. It is a wrench. A hammer does not need to be neon pink. A wrench does not need to give you dopamine. It just needs to work. When you strip the color, you strip the emotional trigger. Instagram in black and white is not exciting. It is just data. A red badge in gray is not an emergency. It is just a circle. You will notice something amazing happen within 24 hours. You will unlock your phone, look at the gray screen, feel zero satisfaction, and put it back in your pocket. You have short-circuited the loop. You have removed the reward. Make it boring, keep it useful. You do not need to love your phone. You need to use it. When the screen is gray, you get in, you get the information you need, and you get out. You stop lingering. You stop scrolling because the scroll offers no visual pleasure. It's not about willpower. It's about biology. You are hacking your own brain back. You're making the distraction unappealing. Phone fasting. You have silenced it. You have dulled it, but it is still dangerous. There is a concept called mere presence. Studies have shown that if your phone is visible, even if it is silent, even if it is face down, even if it is off, your cognitive capacity drops. Why? Because a part of your brain is constantly monitoring it. A part of your brain is asking, is there something there? Should I check it? Where is it? Your brain is running a background app called phone anxiety, and that app uses up battery life, your mental battery life. When you can see the phone, you are already distracted. Out of sight, out of mind. In sight, out of focus.
This is where we implement phone fasting. This is the separation. When you enter your workspace, the phone does not come with you. It is not a guest. It is not a partner. Buy a cheap alarm clock. Buy a physical timer. You do not need your phone for the time. You do not need it for the stopwatch. Leave the phone in the other room. Put it in a drawer. Put it in the kitchen. You will feel the itch. You will reach for your pocket and it will be empty. You will feel a spike of anxiety. Where is it? Sit with that anxiety. That anxiety is the addiction leaving the body. When the phone is physically gone, your brain eventually gives up looking for it. It frees up that background processing power. Suddenly, you have access to mental resources you didn't know you had. The fog lifts. Out of sight, out of mind. In sight, out of focus. You must treat your workspace as a sterile zone. A surgeon does not bring their phone into the operating theater. A pilot does not text during the landing. You are the surgeon. You are the pilot. The stakes are your future. Do not negotiate with yourself. I'll keep it on the desk just in case. No, that is the addict talking. If you are afraid of emergencies, give your spouse or your assistant a special ringtone and leave the phone in the hallway with the volume up. If the building is burning down, you will hear it. If it is not burning down, you do not need to know. You have a choice. You can have the comfort of the device, or you can have the glory of the achievement. It is time to sever the umbilical cord. The transformation. Let's review the protocol. Silence the noise. Turn off every notification that isn't a life or death emergency. Silence is power. Noise is weakness. Kill the color. Go grayscale. Turn the toy into a tool. Make it boring. Keep it useful. Physical separation. Remove the device from your sight line. Out of sight, out of mind. In sight, out of focus. This is not a suggestion. This is a requirement for entry into the fortress. If you cannot do this, you are not serious. If you cannot do this, turn this audiobook off and go back to your mediocrity. Go back to your scrolling. Go back to being a spectator. But if you are still here, if you have changed those settings, if you have put the phone in the other room, then you are ready. You have secured your digital perimeter. You have stopped the digital bleeding. But your phone is only one part of the equation. Look around you. Look at your desk. Look at your chair.
Look at the room you are sitting in. Your environment is either a cockpit for success or a playground for failure. Right now, it's probably a mess, and a messy room creates a messy mind. You have murdered the notification. Now we must sanitize the sanctuary.
Chapter 3. Sanitize the Sanctuary. You have silenced the digital screaming. The phone is in the other room. The screen is gray. The notifications are dead. Now lift your head. Look around you. What do you see? Do you see a fortress, or do you see a landfill? Most of you are trying to build a skyscraper on top of a swamp. You sit down to do the work of your life, but you are surrounded by the debris of your past. Old coffee cups, tangled cables, stacks of unread mail, a half-finished to-do list from 3 weeks ago, knickknacks, toys, trash. You tell yourself it doesn't matter. You say, I can focus through the mess. I'm organized chaos. You are lying. Your environment is not just a background, it is a feedback loop. Your environment screams at you constantly. Every object on your desk is a signal. Every piece of paper is a pending decision. Every piece of clutter is a visual anchor dragging you back to mediocrity. You cannot have a diamond-sharp mind in a garbage-filled room. It is physically impossible. Visual noise. The human brain is a processing machine. It is constantly scanning the environment for threats and opportunities. It does this even when you think you are focused. Your peripheral vision is always active. When your desk is covered in junk, your brain is constantly microprocessing that junk. There's the bill I need to pay, there's the book I haven't read, there's the pen that doesn't work. It is low-level background radiation. It eats your RAM. You are running high-performance software on a computer that is clogged with dust. We are going to perform a radical exorcism of your workspace. We are going to sanitize the sanctuary. Here is the rule. If it is not used in the next hour, it does not belong on the desk. Look at your workspace right now. I want you to be ruthless. That stack of papers, drawer, or trash. That second coffee mug, kitchen. That cute figurine, shelf behind you. That notepad with scribbles from last week, trash. Your desk should have the computer, the mouse, the keyboard, maybe one notebook and one pen. That is it. You are not organizing. Do not buy cute little bins to sort your trash. Throw the trash away. Organization is often just hoarding with better aesthetics. We are not organizing, we are eliminating. Clear space, clear mind. Cluttered space, cluttered mind. When you sit down at a pristine desk, you feel a shift. The emptiness is not empty, it is potential. It is a blank canvas. There is nothing to look at but the work. There is nowhere to hide. You might feel exposed. Good. You should feel exposed. Clutter is a security blanket. It makes you feel busy. It makes you feel like you have a lot going on. But you don't want a lot going on. You want one thing going on. The cleanliness of your station is a reflection of the cleanliness of your discipline. If you tolerate a mess on your desk, you will tolerate a mess in your finances, a mess in your relationships, and a mess in your mind. Standards are contagious. Raise the standard of your environment, and the standard of your work will rise to meet it. Clear space, clear mind. Cluttered space, cluttered mind. The single monitor rule. Now, let's talk about your setup. Somewhere along the line, you were sold a lie. You were told that to be productive, you need to look like a stock trader or a hacker in a bad 90s movie. You were told you need 2 monitors, 3 monitors, a vertical screen for code, a horizontal screen for email. Stop it. Unless you are literally editing 4K video or landing an aircraft, you do not need multiple screens. Multi-screen setups are the enemy of deep work. They are portals for distraction. Here is what happens when you have 2 screens. On the left, you have your work.
On the right, you have your email, your Slack, your Discord, or a YouTube video playing in the background. You are not working. You are watching TV while pretending to work. Even if you have work on both screens, you are creating a head-turning tax. You are darting your eyes back and forth. You are shifting contexts. You are dragging windows. You are managing the windows instead of doing the work. I am challenging you to embrace the single monitor rule. One screen, ideally just your laptop. When you have one screen, you are forced to make a decision. What is the priority right now? Is it the document? Then the document fills the screen. Is it the research? Then the research fills the screen. You cannot have the distraction hovering in your peripheral vision because there is no peripheral screen. One screen, one task, one mind. It feels restrictive at first. You will feel like you are working through a keyhole. That is the point. A laser is powerful because it is focused. A light bulb is weak because it is scattered. You want to be a laser. Maximize the window. Hit F11. Enter full screen mode. Hide the dock. Hide the taskbar. When you are writing, there should be nothing on your retina but the words. When you are coding, nothing but the code. When you are analyzing data, nothing but the data. You have a choice. You can feel like a power user with your command center, or you can actually be powerful. The most productive writers in history wrote on typewriters. They had one screen. They didn't need a second monitor to check Twitter. They needed a blank page and a singular focus. Simplify your view, amplify your output. One screen, one task, one mind. Sacred ground. We have cleared the desk. We have simplified the screen. Now we must consecrate the chair. Behavioral psychology tells us that human beings are creatures of association. If you lie in bed and scroll TikTok for 3 hours, your brain learns bed equals TikTok. That is why you have insomnia. If you sit in your office chair and eat a sandwich, watch Netflix, and chat with your friends, your brain learns chair equals lounge.
When you try to work in that chair, your brain is confused. It thinks it is time to relax. It thinks it is time to eat. You must break this association. You must create sacred ground. From this moment on, your workspace is for deep work only. You do not eat at your desk. You do not make personal calls at your desk. You do not scroll social media at your desk. If you want to take a break, you stand up. You walk away. You leave the sanctuary. If you want to eat lunch, go to the kitchen. If you want to scroll, go outside. The moment your butt hits that chair, it is a trigger. It is a combat switch. The moment you sit down, the brain must know it is time to kill. When you sit, you serve the mission. This requires discipline. You will be tempted to just chill for a few minutes in your chair after a hard sprint. Don't do it. If you are not working, get up. Protect the energy of the space. You are building a Pavlovian response. Over time, you won't even need willpower to start working. You will sit down and your physiology will shift automatically. Your heart rate will steady. Your focus will narrow. You will enter the flow state simply because you are in the place where flow happens. But you destroy that magic the moment you open a tab to watch a funny cat video while sitting in that chair. You contaminate the space. Treat your desk like an altar. Treat your chair like a throne. You do not disrespect the throne with triviality. When you sit, you serve the mission. It's not about feng shui. It's not about interior design. It is about programming your nervous system. You are the architect of your own psychology. Every item on your desk, every pixel on your screen, and every action you take in that chair is a line of code. Stop writing bugs. Start writing excellence. The transformation. Look at your sanctuary now. The desk is clear. The wood is visible. The trash is gone. The second monitor is off or unplugged. The laptop is centered. The chair is waiting. It looks serious. It looks cold. It looks professional. Good. It is not a playroom anymore. It is a cockpit, and you are the pilot.
You have secured the digital perimeter. You have sanitized the physical environment. You are ready to work. You are ready to build. But there is still one threat remaining. It is the biggest threat of all. It is not the phone. It is not the clutter. It is other people. You have built the walls of the fortress, but the world is still trying to knock on the door. They want to pick your brain. They want to grab coffee. They want to steal your time because they have wasted theirs. You have cleaned your room. Now you must clean your calendar. You must learn to be cold. You must learn to be a ghost.
Chapter 4. Become dangerously unavailable. You have cleaned your desk. You have silenced your phone. You have created a physical space where work can happen. But now, we face the enemy that walks, talks, and demands. We face the enemy that wears a smile and asks for just 5 minutes of your time. We face the world of other people. I am going to tell you something that will offend your polite sensibilities. You are too accessible. You are too easy to reach. You are too available. And because you are available, you are average. High-value people are hard to reach. Low-value people are always online. It is a simple law of supply and demand. If your time is abundant, it is cheap. If your time is scarce, it is expensive. Right now, you are giving away your most precious asset, your attention, for free. You are letting anyone with an email address or a phone number cut in line and steal your life. You think you are being responsive. You think you are being a good team player. You think you are being nice. Stop it. You are being a doormat. It is time to build the moat. It is time to pull up the drawbridge. It is time to become dangerously unavailable. The myth of urgency. Open your inbox. Look at those unread messages. Look at those Slack notifications. What are they? I will tell you what they are. An inbox is nothing more than a convenient organizing system for other people's agendas. When someone sends you an email, they are taking a task off their to-do list and putting it onto yours. They are saying, "Here, you handle this." And what do? You rush to answer. You rush to clear the badge. You believe the lie of urgency. You think that because it arrived now, it must be handled now. This is the myth of urgency. 99% of the things that beep at you are not emergencies. They are not fires. They are minor inconveniences that someone else is too lazy to solve themselves. But you treat them like heart attacks. You interrupt your deep work, the work that actually makes you money, the work that actually builds your legacy, to reply to a question that could have been answered with a Google search. You must memorize this phrase. Burn it into your brain. Your time is not public property. Just because someone sends you a message does not mean they are entitled to a reply, and they are certainly not entitled to a reply right now. Stop apologizing for the delay. How many times have you started an email with, "So sorry for the slow response"? Stop it. Never say that again. When you apologize, you are admitting guilt. You are saying, "You are right. I should have been waiting by my computer for your command." You are validating their expectation that you exist to serve them. You do not exist to serve them. You exist to serve the mission. If you take 4 hours to reply because you are building something great, you do not owe anyone an apology. You owe them the result of your work. Your time is not public property. If they get angry that you didn't reply in 10 minutes, let them be angry. Let them find someone else who is less busy and less important. You are not customer service. You are the CEO of your own life. Act like it. The no default. Now, let's talk about the meetings, the coffee chats, the brainstorming sessions, the "can I pick your brain" requests. These are the vampires of success. They act friendly. They say, "I just want to connect. I'd love to get your thoughts."
Translation, I want to steal an hour of your life to validate my own procrastination or to get free consulting that I should be paying for. You say yes because you want to be helpful. You say yes because you're flattered. But every yes to a coffee chat is a no to your dreams. Every yes to a meaningless meeting is a no to your health, your wealth, and your family. You need to install a new default setting in your operating system. The default is no. If there is no clear agenda, no. If there is no clear ROI, no. If it does not align with your 90-day goals, no. Access to you is a privilege, not a right. You are not a public park. You are a private vault. You do not let people wander in and out just because they're bored. When you start saying no, people will be shocked. They might even be offended. They are used to you being easy. They are used to you being a pushover. Let them be shocked. You are training them. You are teaching the world how to treat you. When you say no to the trivial, you create space for the essential. I have a strict policy against non-project meetings. I am heads down on a deadline and cannot meet until next month. I don't do coffee, but I can do a 10-minute call if you send the questions in advance. Be polite, be direct, but be firm. Access to you is a privilege, not a right. Do you think the billionaires of the world take random coffee chats? Do you think the high-level athletes stop training to pick someone's brain? No, they are guarded, they are insulated. If you want to reach their level, you must adopt their security protocols. You must become a ghost to the people who do not matter so you can be a savior to the people who do. It's not about arrogance, it's about mathematics. You have 24 hours. If you give 2 hours to strangers, you have stolen 10% of your life from yourself. Stop the theft, close the door. Scheduled access. I am not telling you to become a hermit. You have a business to run. You have a job to do. You need to communicate. But you must communicate on your terms. The amateur checks their email every 10 minutes. The amateur keeps Slack open on the second monitor. The amateur lives in the reactive state, bouncing like a pinball. The professional does not check communication. The professional processes communication. You are going to implement scheduled access. You pick 2 times a day. Maybe it is 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. Maybe it is 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. These are the only times you open the inbox. These are the only times you check the messages. During these windows, you are a machine. You reply, you archive, you delete, you delegate. You blitz the inbox, you clear the deck. And then you close the tab. You log out. You disappear. You dictate the rhythm. Do not dance to theirs. When you reply to an email at 11:05 a.m. and they reply back at 11:07 a.m., do you know what you do? Nothing. You do not reply. You wait until your next window. You wait until 4 p.m. You break the instant messaging cycle. You train them to understand that email is asynchronous. You train them that you are not sitting there waiting for the ping. When they realize you only reply twice a day, they stop sending you junk. They start grouping their questions. They start solving their own problems because they can't wait for you. You make them smarter by being unavailable. You dictate the rhythm. Do not dance to theirs. This requires nerves of steel. You will feel the urge to just check. You will worry that the building is burning down. Let it burn. If it is truly an emergency, they will call. If they do not call, it is not an emergency. Most people are terrified of this silence. They are terrified of being disconnected. Why? Because when the noise stops, they are left alone with their work. And the work is hard. The work is scary. The inbox is a safety blanket. It feels like work, but it is just shuffling papers. By scheduling your access, you rip away the safety blanket. You force yourself to spend the other 6 or 8 hours of the day actually doing the thing you were put on this earth to do. The transformation. Let's review the new laws of your social existence. Stop apologizing. Never say sorry for the delay again. Your time is not public property. The velvet rope. Say no to anything without a clear agenda and ROI. Access to you is a privilege, not a right. Batch processing. Check comms twice a day. Never in the morning first thing, never constantly. You dictate the rhythm. Do not dance to theirs. You are building a reputation. At first, they will call you hard to reach. Then they will call you focused. Eventually, they will call you successful. You cannot have the third without the first. You have built the fortress. The walls are high. The phone is silent. The desk is clean. The calendar is clear. You have eliminated the external enemies. The distractions are dead. The interruptions are blocked. Now you are alone. It is just you and the task, and this is where the real battle begins. Because now that you have the time, you have to use it. You can't just be unavailable. You have to be effective. You have to turn that silence into gold. You have 4 hours of empty space. What do you do with it? How do you ensure you don't waste this precious, guarded time? You need a structure for the work itself. You need a protocol for the grind.
Chapter 5. The 4-hour block or nothing. You have cleared the calendar. You have secured the perimeter. You are sitting in the chair. Now comes the part where most people fail. Most people treat their work like a snack. They nibble at it. They do 15 minutes here, 20 minutes there. They squeeze a little bit of writing in between meetings. They answer a few emails while watching Netflix. They think they're working. They are not working. They are grazing. Grazing is for cows. You are a predator. A predator does not graze. A predator hunts. And a hunt requires sustained, unbroken, lethal intensity. If you are trying to build something that matters, a business, a book, a body of code, a legacy, you cannot do it in 20-minute bursts. It is physically impossible. You need to understand the biology of your own brain. Your brain is not a light switch. You cannot just flip it on and instantly be at 100% capacity. Your brain is an engine. It needs to warm up. Science tells us it takes approximately 15 to 20 minutes of focus just to enter a state of flow, just to load the data into your working memory, just to get the gears turning. If you work for 30 minutes and then take a break, you have done zero deep work. You spent 20 minutes warming up, 10 minutes working, and then you quit. You are constantly revving the engine but never leaving the driveway. This is why you feel busy but achieve nothing. This is why you work all day but have nothing to show for it. You are stuck in the shallow end of the pool. The shallow end is crowded. The shallow end is where the mediocre people live. The shallow end is where you reply to emails, fill out spreadsheets, and have chats. The deep end is empty. The deep end is where the masters live. To join them, you must adopt the standard of the 4-hour block. Deep work physiology. The rule is simple. Go deep or go home. Real work, transformational work, only happens in blocks of 4 hours or more. Why 4 hours? Because the first hour is just clearing the throat. The first hour is fighting the resistance. The second hour is where you find the rhythm. The third and fourth hours, that is where the magic happens. That is where you connect ideas that no one else has connected. That is where you produce the volume and the quality that makes you untouchable. You have a choice. You can have 1,000 fractured minutes, or you can have one solid block of 4 hours. The math says they're equal. The reality is that the 4-hour block is worth 100 times more. But I don't have 4 hours, you scream. Yes, you do. You have the same 24 hours as Elon Musk. You have the same 24 hours as the president. You have the same 24 hours as every person who has ever changed history. You don't lack time, you lack priority. You lack the guts to carve out the space. Get up at 4 a.m. if you have to. Stay up until 2 a.m. Lock the door. Do whatever it takes to secure that block. Everything outside of that block is maintenance. It is laundry. It is paying bills. It is not building. The 4-hour block is the only thing that moves the needle. Go deep or go home. When you sit down for the block, you do not stop. You do not get up for coffee. You do not check the score. You treat it like a surgery.
If a surgeon walks out in the middle of a heart transplant to check Instagram, the patient dies.
Your dream is the patient, and every time you break the block, you are killing it. The airplane mode protocol. Now, how do you survive the block? How do you ensure that the world doesn't intrude? You use the most powerful productivity tool ever invented. It is on your phone right now. It is on your laptop right now. It is called airplane mode. I don't care if you are sitting in your office in the middle of Manhattan. I don't care if you are on your couch. When the block starts, the signal dies. You do not need the internet to write. You do not need the internet to think. You do not need the internet to plan. But I need to do research. No, you don't. Research is a trap. Research is procrastination in disguise. You research during your shallow time. You research before the block. During the block, you execute. We have a rule. Cut the cord. Do the work. When you turn off the Wi-Fi, when you toggle that little airplane icon, you sever the digital tether. You are no longer connected to the hive mind. You are alone. Silence descends. The notifications stop. The potential for interruption drops to zero. It is terrifying at first. You feel cut off. You feel isolated. Good. Greatness is a lonely pursuit. You cannot build a fortress if you are constantly opening the gate to check on the neighbors. When you are offline, you are forced to use your own brain. You can't Google the answer. You have to think of the answer. You can't copy-paste. You have to create. This is the difference between a consumer and a creator. The consumer needs a connection. The creator is the source. Cut the cord. Do the work. If you absolutely must use the internet for your work, if you are a coder who needs documentation or a trader who needs charts, then you whitelist. You allow access only to the specific tools you need and you block everything else. But for 90% of you, you don't need it. You are afraid of the silence. Toggle the switch, kill the signal, watch your output explode. Friction creation. You are human. You are weak. Even with the best intentions, even with airplane mode, you might slip. The boredom will hit you at hour 2 and your fingers will twitch. You will want to type facebook.com or youtube.com just to feel something. Willpower is not enough. You need friction. You need to make it incredibly difficult to fail. You need to make it so annoying to get distracted that you just give up and go back to work. This is called friction creation. If you have a habit of checking social media, log out. Don't just close the tab, log out. Make yourself type the password every single time. Turn on two-factor authentication, so you have to go find your phone, which is in the other room, just to log in. Make the cost of distraction high.
Use software. Use Freedom. Use Cold Turkey. Use Opal. These are apps that lock you out of the internet. You set a timer for 4 hours and there is no override. You cannot get online even if you want to. You would have to restart your computer. You would have to hack your own machine. Build the wall high. If you have a TV in your office, unplug it. Put the remote in the garage. If you have a gaming console, put it in a box. Tape the box shut. You think this is extreme? You think this is crazy? Normal is crazy. Normal is being broke. Normal is being distracted. Normal is looking back at your life and wondering where the time went. If you want extreme results, you need extreme measures. You are engineering your environment to force you into success. You are removing the option to fail. When you are sitting in that chair
in the middle of a 4-hour block with no internet, no phone, and no easy way to log in to social media, guess what happens? You work, because there is nothing else to do. You have bored yourself into productivity. Build the wall high. It's not about trust. Do not trust yourself. Trust the system. Trust the wall. The transformation. Let's recap the protocol for the block. The time, 4 hours minimum, unbroken, go deep or go home. The connection, off, airplane mode, cut the cord, do the work. The defense, logged out, blocked, unplugged, build the wall high. This is how you produce a year's worth of work in a month. This is how you write the book. This is how you launch the product. By doing the thing that everyone else is too afraid to do. Being alone with the work for a long, painful, beautiful stretch of time. But I warn you, when you implement the 4-hour block, you will encounter a new feeling, a feeling you haven't felt since you were a child. You will feel bored. You will sit there 40 minutes in and your brain will scream. It will crave stimulation. It will panic. It will tell you that you are going to die if you don't see a moving image or hear a voice. This boredom is not your enemy. It is the threshold. It is the gate you must pass through to reach the other side. Most people run from boredom. You are going to run toward it. You are going to embrace it. You are going to realize that boredom is the soil where ideas grow. Chapter 6. Boredom is your best friend. You are afraid of the quiet. Admit it, you are terrified of it. The moment there is a lull in the conversation, you panic. The moment you are standing in an elevator alone, you pull out your phone. The moment you are stopped at a red light, you check for texts. You have spent your entire adult life running from one thing: boredom. You treat boredom like a disease. You treat it like a failure. You think that if you are not entertained, if you are not stimulated, if you are not processing information, then you are wasting your life. I am here to tell you that you have it backward. Boredom is not the enemy. Boredom is the weapon. Boredom is the filter that separates the elite from the average. The average person cannot sit in a room alone for 10 minutes without losing their mind. They need the pacifier. They need the screen. They need the noise. But you are building a fortress. And inside the fortress, it is quiet. Inside the fortress, there is no applause. There is no soundtrack. There is only the work. If you cannot handle the silence, you cannot handle the success. The dopamine detox. Let's look at why you hate boredom. It is biological. Your brain has been deep-fried by years of high-speed digital inputs. You are used to hyper-palatable content. When you take that away, when you turn off the phone, when you stare at a blank page or a difficult problem, your brain goes into withdrawal. It screams. It feels like you are dying. This is not ADHD. This is not a learning disability. This is withdrawal. You're a junkie coming off a high. You have a choice. You can run back to the needle, the scroll, the click, the video, or you can sit there and sweat it out. We need to reframe what boredom actually is. Boredom is not nothing. Boredom is the cleaning crew. When you stop feeding your brain garbage, it finally has the space to process what is already there. It has the space to connect dots. It has the space to solve complex problems. You cannot have a breakthrough while you're watching a TikTok. You cannot have a $1 million idea while you're reading a tweet. Those things consume your bandwidth. Creativity requires a vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. So when you create one, your brain rushes to fill it with ideas. Embrace the void. The void is where the ideas live. You must learn to sit in a room doing absolutely nothing without panic. I want you to try it. Sit on your couch. Turn off the TV. Put the phone in the other room. Just sit. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. Your brain will offer you distractions. I should do the laundry. I should check the news. Ignore them. Stare at the wall. Eventually, the panic subsides. Eventually, the noise in your head settles. And then something miraculous happens. You start to think. You start to actually think. Not react, but think. The void is not empty. It is fertile soil. But nothing grows there because you keep stomping on it with your constant need for entertainment. Embrace the void. The void is where the ideas live. Stop running from the silence. Run into it. The silence is where you find yourself. The noise is where you lose yourself. Walking without input. Now, let's talk about your productive habits. I see you at the gym. I see you on your morning walk. I see you driving your car. What is in your ears? Podcasts, audiobooks, news, music. You tell yourself this is good. You say, I'm learning. I'm optimizing my time. I'm multitasking. You are not learning. You are drowning out your own internal voice. You are so afraid of being alone with your own thoughts that you will listen to a stranger talk for an hour just to avoid hearing yourself think for a minute. You are consuming constantly, input, input, input. But when do you output? When do you synthesize? If you are always listening to other people's ideas, you never have time to form your own. I am challenging you to strip it all away. I want you to go for a walk, leave the headphones at home, leave the phone at home. Just you, the pavement, the sky, and your brain. It will feel weird. You will feel naked. You will reach for your ears and realize there is nothing there. Stop consuming. Start creating. When you walk without input, your brain enters a different state. The rhythm of your steps syncs with the rhythm of your thoughts. The first 10 minutes will be boring. You will think about your grocery list, but keep walking. At minute 20, you will start replaying an argument or worrying about a bill. Keep walking. At minute 30, the magic happens. Suddenly, the solution to that problem at work pops into your head. Suddenly, the structure for your new project becomes clear. Suddenly, you understand what you need to do. Why? Because you stopped shouting at your brain with other people's content. You gave it permission to speak to you. You are suffocating your genius with podcasts. You are killing your intuition with playlists. Stop consuming. Start creating. You do not need more information. You are drowning in information. You need clarity, and clarity only comes from silence. It is not about the walk. It is about the relationship with your own mind. If you cannot stand to be alone with your own thoughts, why should anyone else want to hear them? Rip the earbuds out. Listen to the world. Listen to yourself. The patience muscle. Let's go back to the chair. Let's go back to the work. We talked about the 4-hour block. We talked about deep work. Here's what happens when you hit the hard part of the work. You feel a physical urge to quit. It feels like an itch under your skin. It feels like heat. This is the boredom wall. Most people hit the wall and they bounce off. They tab switch. They get a snack. They quit. They think focus is a feeling. They think focus should feel effortless, like a movie montage. Focus is not a feeling. Focus is a fight.
Distraction is just a form of impatience. You are impatient with the difficulty. You're impatient with the slow progress. You want the reward now. You need to view sitting still as a physical feat of athleticism. When a bodybuilder is lifting a heavy weight and their muscles are burning and they want to drop it, do they drop it? No, they push through. That burn is where the muscle grows. When you are writing or coding or planning and you feel that urge to click away, that is the burn. That is the rep. Stay in the chair. The pain is growth. If you click away, you fail the rep. You stay weak. If you stay in the chair, if you stare at the screen until your eyes bleed, if you refuse to move until the problem is solved, you grow. You get stronger. You are building the patience muscle. In a world of goldfish with 3-second attention spans, the person who can sit in a chair and stare at a problem for 4 hours is a god. You become a superpower simply by not moving. It hurts. It is supposed to hurt. If it were easy, everyone would be rich. If it were easy, everyone would be a master. It is hard.
It is boring. It is agonizingly slow. Stay in the chair. The pain is growth. Do not look for excitement in your work. Look for results. Excitement is for amateurs. Pros are bored. Pros show up every day, do the same reps, lift the same weights, and get the same results. You must fall in love with the boredom. You must look at that blank screen and say, I can outlast you. The transformation. Let's review the new rules of engagement. The detox. Stop treating boredom like a crisis. Embrace the void. The void is where the ideas live. The silent walk. Stop stuffing your ears with noise. Stop consuming. Start creating. The rep. When you want to quit, that is when the work begins. Stay in the chair. The pain is growth. You are learning to live without the constant drip feed of dopamine. You are learning to generate your own momentum. You are becoming self-reliant. But there is another trap, a trap that is even more insidious than the distraction of entertainment. It is the distraction of the ego. It is the need to tell everyone what you are doing. It is the need to post a picture of your setup. It is the need to announce your grind to the world. You have learned to sit in the chair. You have learned to endure the silence. But now you want a cookie. You want a pat on the back. You want people to know how hard you are working. Stop it. Your need for validation is killing your results. You are trading respect for likes. You are trading your empire for an audience. It is time to go dark. It is time to kill the performance.
Chapter 7. Validation is for the weak. You have locked the door. You have turned off the phone. You have stared down the boredom, and you have done the work. But now the session is over, and I know exactly what you want to do next. You want to take a picture of your coffee cup next to your laptop. You want to post a story on Instagram with a timestamp, 4 a.m. club. You want to tweet about how hard you were grinding. You want to text your friend and tell them about the big idea you just had. You want a cookie. You want the world to pat you on the head and say, "Good job! You are working so hard. You are so disciplined." Stop it. Put the phone down. This need for validation is a sickness. It is the single greatest killer of actual achievement. You are trading long-term respect for short-term attention. You are trading the gold of a completed project for the copper pennies of a like. You are addicted to the performance of success rather than the reality of it. The performance trap. Let me explain the neuroscience of your failure. When you set a big goal, say writing a book or launching a business, you feel a surge of energy. You are excited. Then you go and tell everyone. You post about it. Big things coming soon. So excited to start this journey. Your friends cheer. They comment, "You got this." They like the post. And in that moment, your brain releases a massive hit of dopamine. It gives you the feeling of satisfaction as if you have already achieved the goal. The brain is easily tricked. It confuses the announcement of the work with the completion of the work. You get the reward before you pay the price. And once you have the reward, the motivation to actually do the hard, lonely, boring work evaporates. Why would you suffer through the process when you already got the applause? You have popped the balloon. The pressure is gone. You must understand this rule. Pressure is fuel. When you keep your goals to yourself, when you refuse to tell a soul what you are doing, that pressure builds up inside you. It has nowhere to go. It becomes a burning engine. It forces you to work because the only way to release that pressure is to finish. But the moment you talk, you open the valve, the steam escapes. You feel good for 10 minutes, and then you feel empty, and the project dies. Build in silence. Shock them with the result. You see people online constantly talking about what they are gonna do. They are gonna drop an album. They are gonna get ripped. They are gonna be a millionaire. They are loud, they are flashy, and they are usually broke and unfinished. The real killers, though, the real masters, you don't hear a peep from them until the work is done.
They disappear for 6 months. No posts, no stories, no updates. The world thinks they are dead. The world thinks they quit. Then suddenly they emerge with the finished product. The book is on the shelf, the company is sold, the body is transformed.
And the world is shocked. How did you do that? When did you find the time? They found the time because they weren't wasting it telling you about it. You have a choice. You can be the person who talks about the climb, or you can be the person who stands on the summit. You cannot be both. Zip your lip. Keep the secret. Let the work speak for itself. Build in silence. Shock them with the result. The audience illusion. We live in a culture of hustle porn. It is a performative art form. You arrange your desk just right. You make sure the lighting is perfect. You open a spreadsheet you aren't even working on. Click, post, #grind, #hustle, #CEO. Who are you performing for? You are performing for an audience that does not care. Most people are too busy worrying about their own lives to care about yours. The ones who do pay attention are either jealous, indifferent, or mocking you. This is the audience illusion. You think you are the main character in a movie and everyone else is watching your hero's journey. Wake up. No one is watching, and that is a good thing. When you curate your life for social media, you are living in the third person. You are watching yourself live instead of actually living. You are constantly asking, how does this look, instead of, does this work? You are spending 20 minutes crafting the perfect caption about productivity instead of being productive. It is a farce. It is a lie. You are not an influencer. You are a worker. An influencer gets paid to look busy. A worker gets paid to produce value. Stop proving. Start doing. If you are truly working hard, you don't have time to photograph it. If you are truly in the flow state, the last thing on your mind is Instagram. Real work is ugly. Real work is messy. Real work is you, in sweatpants with messy hair, staring at a screen with bloodshot eyes at 11 p.m. It is not photogenic. It does not look cool, but it produces results. The cool photos, the aesthetic setups, that is usually a sign of procrastination. That is someone playing dress up. Stop trying to prove to your high school friends that you were successful. Stop trying to prove to your ex that you were doing well. Stop trying to prove to your parents that you have a real job. Your success will prove it eventually. You don't need to force it. The more you try to convince people you are winning, the more it looks like you are losing. Confidence is silent. Insecurity is loud. Stop proving. Start doing. Kill the metrics. So, you posted the content, you released the video, you launched the site. Now what do? You hit refresh, 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 refresh. How many views? How many likes? Did anyone comment? You are obsessing over the scoreboard while the game is still being played. This is the path to madness. You are attaching your self-worth to numbers you cannot control. These are vanity metrics. They feed the ego, but they starve the spirit. When the numbers are up, you feel like a god. You get arrogant. You slack off. When the numbers are down, you feel like a failure. You get depressed. You quit.
In both cases, the metrics control you. You are an emotional puppet on a string, dancing for an algorithm. You must detach. You must sever the link between your effort and the immediate feedback. It is not about the views. It is about the discipline. You cannot control who watches. You cannot control who buys. You cannot control who likes. You can only control one thing, the quality and quantity of your output. That is it. The score takes care of itself. If you focus on the lead metric, your effort, your hours, your focus, the lag metric, the money, the fame, the success will follow. It is a mathematical certainty. But if you stare at the lag metric, you stop doing the work required to move it. Stop checking your analytics every hour. Stop checking your bank account every day. It doesn't change just because you looked at it. Check it once a month. Use it as data, not as a drug.
If you produce undeniable value consistently over a long period of time, you cannot fail. The market is efficient. The world rewards value. But the world does not reward desperation, and nothing smells more desperate than someone who needs constant applause. The score takes care of itself. You need to develop a thick skin. You need to develop the ability to work in the dark, without applause, without feedback, for years if necessary. This is what separates the legends from the tourists. The tourist needs a good experience now. The legend is willing to suffer now for a victory later. Validation is for the weak. Validation is for children who need their parents to tell them they are good boys and girls. You are not a child. You are a machine. Machines don't need cookies. Machines need fuel. Your fuel is your mission. The transformation. Let's review the protocol for killing the ego. The secrecy. Stop announcing your plans. Keep the pressure inside. Build in silence. Shock them with the result. The reality. Stop performing for an imaginary audience. Stop proving. Start doing. The focus. Stop obsessing over vanity metrics. Focus on the input. The score takes care of itself. When you stop seeking external validation, you become dangerous. You become unshakable. Because if you don't need their applause to keep going, then their criticism can't stop you. You are free. You have secured the environment. You have secured the time. You have secured the ego. The fortress is almost complete. The walls are high. The silence is deafening. But inside that silence, there is still one enemy left. It is the loudest enemy of all. It is the voice inside your own head. It is the monkey mind. It is the constant chatter of worry, fear, and random thought that attacks you the moment you try to focus. You have silenced the world. Now you must silence yourself.
Chapter 8. Starve the Monkey Mind. The room is silent. The phone is in the other room. The door is locked. The desk is clean. You have defeated the external world. You have built the walls of your fortress high enough to keep the noise out. But now you face the final boss. You face the enemy that is already inside the walls. You face the enemy that sleeps in your bed and eats at your table. You face your own mind. The Buddhists call it the monkey mind. Imagine a monkey, drunk, stung by a scorpion, jumping from tree to tree screaming. That is your brain. It is chaotic. It is relentless. It is loud. You sit down to do the work, and the monkey starts screaming. Did I leave the stove on? What did she mean by that comment 3 years ago? I need to buy toothpaste. I'm not good enough to do this. It chatters. It distracts. It pulls you away from the mission. You cannot focus because you are fighting a civil war inside your own skull. You are trying to write a symphony while a riot is happening in the orchestra pit. You have a choice. You can let the monkey run the show, or you can put it in a cage. You do not need peace of mind. Peace is for the dead. You need control of mind. You need dominance. We are going to starve the monkey. We are going to cut off its supply of attention until it sits down, shuts up, and obeys. The brain dump. The first weapon in your arsenal is a piece of paper and a pen. Not an app, not a digital note, a physical piece of paper. Your brain is a processing unit, not a storage unit. When you try to hold on to tasks, ideas, and worries in your head, you are using up your RAM. You are creating what psychologists call open loops. Every uncompleted task, every unwritten thought is a background process that slows you down. It is the spinning beach ball of death on your mental computer. The monkey loves open loops. It swings from one to the other. Call mom, swing. Fix the car, swing. Reply to email, swing. You need to stop the swinging. You need to close the loops. This is the brain dump. Keep a notepad next to you while you work. This is your capture pad. When a thought intrudes, whether it is brilliant or stupid, urgent or trivial, you do not analyze it. You do not engage with it. You certainly do not act on it.
You write it down. Buy milk. Write it. Email the client. Write it. Great idea for a video. Write it. I feel anxious. Write it. Capture it, kill it, return to focus. The moment you write it down, you have exercised it. You have taken it out of your brain and put it onto the paper. You have told your brain, it is safe, it is recorded. I do not need to think about this right now. The monkey stops screaming because the monkey feels heard. Most of you let a single thought derail your entire day. You think, I need to pay that bill, and instead of writing it down, you open a new tab to pay the bill. Then you see an ad. Then you check your email, and 3 hours later, you haven't done the work. Do not switch tasks. Switch the location of the thought. Capture it, kill it, return to focus. That piece of paper is a graveyard for distractions. It is where impulses go to die so that your work can live.
At the end of your 4-hour block, you can look at the list. You will find that 90% of the things you wrote down are nonsense. They were just the monkey trying to trick you. The other 10% you can handle later. But in the moment, they are enemies. If you don't capture them, they will haunt you. They will loop. They will persist. Capture it. Kill it. Return to focus. Meditation as combat. Now let's talk about the practice of focus itself. Let's talk about meditation. I know what you are thinking. You think meditation is soft. You think it's about incense and crystals and levitating monks. You think it's about clearing your mind and floating in a cloud of bliss. Wrong. That is the commercialized, watered-down version of meditation sold to tourists. Real meditation is combat. Real meditation is the gym. You tell me, I can't meditate, my mind wanders too much. That is like saying, I can't go to the gym, the weights are too heavy. The wandering is the workout. Here's the reality of meditation. You sit, you focus on your breath, and within 10 seconds, your mind runs away. It starts thinking about lunch. It starts thinking about the past. The moment you realize your mind has wandered, that is the magic moment. That is the rep. You catch the mind. You grab it by the collar and you drag it back to the breath. Catch the drift, drag it back. Every time you do this, you are doing a bicep curl for your brain. You are strengthening the neural pathways of executive control. If your mind wanders 100 times in 10 minutes and you bring it back 100 times, you have done 100 reps. That is a massive workout. Do not get frustrated. Do not judge yourself. Do not say, I'm bad at this. It's not about being good at it. It's about doing the work. Catch the drift, drag it back. You are training a wild animal. If you are training a dog to sit and it runs away, you don't give up. You don't say, this dog is broken. You bring the dog back. You say, sit. It runs away again. You bring it back, sit. Eventually, the dog sits. Your mind is the dog. You are the master. You must practice this every single day. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, it doesn't matter. What matters is the combat. When you are in the middle of your work and you feel the urge to check your phone, that is the drift. You catch it, you realize what is happening, and you drag your attention back to the screen. You apply the strength you built in meditation to the battlefield of your career. Catch the drift, drag it back. This is not spiritual relaxation. This is cognitive conditioning. You are sharpening the blade. You are hardening the will. If you cannot control where your attention goes, you cannot control your life. It is that simple. Single tasking. Finally, we must address the way you live your life outside of the work block. You have a disease called layering. You are terrified of doing just one thing. You cannot just eat lunch. You have to eat lunch and watch YouTube. You cannot just walk. You have to walk and listen to a podcast. You cannot just drive. You have to drive and talk on the phone.
You are constantly layering inputs. You are fragmenting your consciousness. You are never fully present. You are always half here and half there.
This habit destroys your ability to focus. If you train your brain all day to be distracted, how can you expect it to be focused when you sit down to work? You can't. You practice distraction 16 hours a day and expect to be a master of focus for 4. It doesn't work that way. You must relearn the art of single tasking. I want you to try something radical. I want you to eat a meal without a screen. Just you, the food, the fork. It will be painful. You will feel bored. You will reach for the phone like a phantom limb. Stop it. Be where your feet are. If you are eating, just eat. Taste the food. If you are walking, just walk. Look at the trees. If you are talking to someone, look them in the eye. Do not glance at your watch. Do not look over their shoulder. Be where your feet are. This is how you starve the monkey. The monkey wants chaos. The monkey wants stimulation. The monkey wants 5 things happening at once. When you single task, you deny the monkey the chaos it feeds on. You slow down the world. You force your brain to engage with reality, not with a digital overlay of reality. This builds a profound power. It gives you a presence that people can feel. When you speak to a person who is single tasking, you feel seen. You feel heard. When you do work while single tasking, the work has depth. It has quality. Stop trying to hack your life by doing 2 things at once. You are just doing 2 things badly. Be where your feet are. Do not live your life in the background. Do not be a spectator to your own existence because you are too busy looking at a screen to notice the world passing you by. The transformation. Let's review the protocol for internal warfare. The capture. Do not store thoughts. Capture it, kill it, return to focus. The combat. Meditation is the gym. Catch the drift, drag it back. The presence. Stop layering. Be where your feet are. You have now conquered the environment, you have conquered the calendar, you have conquered the ego. And now you have conquered the mind. The monkey is in the cage. The noise has stopped. You are a weapon of mass production. You have the ability to focus with a laser-like intensity that 99% of the population will never experience. But now we have a different problem. You have a laser, but what are you pointing it at? You have the ability to execute, but are you executing on the right things? Most people, once they find focus, make the mistake of trying to do everything. They think, now I am productive, so I can take on 10 projects. No, that is the trap. That is how you slide back into chaos. You have the power. Now you need the precision. You need to take that list of 10 things and burn 9 of them. You need to learn the art of saying no to almost everything so you can destroy the one thing that matters.
Chapter 9. The Law of Radical Subtraction. You are dangerous now. You have silenced the phone, you have cleared the desk, you have crushed the ego, you have caged the monkey mind. You have created a vacuum of pure potential. You have the energy, you have the time, you have the focus. And right now, you are standing on the edge of a cliff. Because you have energy, you want to use it. Because you have time, you want to fill it. You look at your life, at your business, at your goals, and you say, now I can do it all. I can launch the podcast. I can write the book. I can start the dropshipping store. I can learn Japanese. I can train for a triathlon. Stop. Stop right now. You are about to make the classic mistake of the amateur. You're about to take your newfound laser beam and put it through a prism. You are about to scatter your light. You think productivity means doing more. You think high performance means high volume. You are wrong. Productivity is not addition. Productivity is subtraction. The sculpture is already inside the stone. The artist does not add clay. The artist chips away the stone that does not belong. You are the artist. Your life is the stone. And right now, you are carrying way too much weight. Essentialism. Here is the math of mediocrity.
If you have 10 units of energy and you apply them to 10 different projects, you make 1 unit of progress on each. You move 10 things 1 inch. Result? Nothing finishes, nothing breaks through. You are busy, but you are stagnant. Here is the math of mastery. If you have 10 units of energy and you apply them to 1 project, you make 10 units of progress. You move 1 thing 10 miles. Result? A breakthrough, an empire, a legacy. You cannot focus on 10 things. You can barely focus on 1. I demand you look at your project list. Look at your goals for this year. How many are there? 5? 10? 20? I want you to cut it by 90%. I want you to pick the one thing that matters, the one thing that if you achieved it would make everything else irrelevant or easier. The rest, burn them. But they are good opportunities, you cry. I don't care. If it is not essential, it is a distraction. Good opportunities are the enemy of great opportunities. Good opportunities keep you comfortable. Good opportunities keep you from going all in on the one thing that could change your life. You must be ruthless. You must be cold. You have to look at a project that you love, a project that has potential, a project that you have already invested time in, and you have to kill it. Why? Because it is not the main thing. The word priority entered the English language in the 1400s. It was singular. It meant the first thing. It stayed singular for 500 years. Only in the 1900s did we pluralize it and start talking about priorities. Illogic. You cannot have multiple first things. You can only have one. If it is not essential, it is a distraction. If you are trying to learn a language, build a business, and get six-pack abs all at the same time, you will fail at all 3. Pick one, crush it, then move to the next. This requires faith. You have to believe that by saying no to everything else, you will get a massive return on the yes. And you will, but only if you subtract. The not-to-do list. We are obsessed with to-do lists. We fill them up. We get a dopamine hit when we check a box.
But the to-do list is endless. The world will always give you more to do. You need a new list. You need a not-to-do list. This is not a list of bad habits. This is a list of good things that you are deliberately choosing not to do. You cannot be everything to everyone. You cannot be the perfect CEO, the perfect parent, the perfect spouse, the perfect friend, and the perfect athlete all at once. Something has to give. If you don't decide what gives, reality will decide for you, and reality is cruel. Reality will take your health, or it will take your marriage, or it will take your sanity. Take control. Decide what you will fail at. I will fail at keeping my house perfectly clean. Fine. Hire a cleaner or live with the dust. The business comes first. I will fail at being up to date on the news. Fine. Be ignorant of the latest scandal. The mission comes first. I will fail at answering emails instantly. Fine. Let them wait. When you explicitly decide to fail at something, you remove the guilt. Guilt comes from saying, I should do this, and then not doing it. But if you say, I am choosing not to do this, the guilt vanishes. You have set a boundary. Decide what you will fail at. Write it down. I do not do X. I do not attend Y. I do not worry about Z. This is freedom. This is how you reclaim your bandwidth. You have a limited amount of decision-making energy every day. If you spend it deciding what to wear, what to eat, or whether to go to that party, you have nothing left for the war. Automate, delegate, eliminate. If it does not move the needle on your one thing, it goes on the not-to-do list. Decide what you will fail at. Minimalist tools. Now, let's talk about the tools you use to manage your work. I see you.
I see you searching for the perfect productivity app. I see you watching YouTube reviews of Notion templates, Obsidian plugins, and complex project management software. You spend hours setting up the system. You color code the tags, you link the databases, you create a beautiful dashboard. And then you do no work. This is productivity porn. It feels like work, but it is just procrastination in a fancy suit. Complexity is the enemy of execution. Complexity creates friction. If it takes you 5 clicks to write down a task, you won't write it down. If your system requires a manual to understand, you won't use it when you are tired. You need to strip it down. Simple works, complex fails. The best productivity app in the world is a piece of paper and a pen. It doesn't crash, it doesn't have notifications, it doesn't require a subscription, it doesn't have a learning curve. But I need features. No, you don't. You need to do the work.
J.K. Rowling wrote Harry Potter on paper. Quentin Tarantino writes his scripts on paper. The greatest minds in history built civilization without cloud syncing and Kanban boards. Stop hiding behind the tools. If you must use software, use the simplest one possible. The Apple Notes app, a basic text file, a simple calendar. Refuse to use tools that require you to be a technician. You are not a database administrator. You are a creator. Simple works. Complex fails. Every feature is a potential distraction. Every optimization is a time sink. Ask yourself, could I do this with a napkin? If the answer is yes, use the napkin. The goal is to reduce the distance between thought and action. Thought, I need to write this chapter. Action, open document, write. That is a straight line. But you make it a maze. Thought, I need to write this chapter. Action, open project management app, create card, tag card, set due date, open writing app, adjust font, check word count goal, adjust window size. You are exhausted before you type the first word. Stop building the maze. Flatten the walls. Walk the straight line. Simple works. Complex fails. The transformation. Let's review the law of radical subtraction. The cut. Burn 90% of your projects. Focus on the one thing. If it is not essential, it is a distraction. The sacrifice. Choose what to neglect, remove the guilt, decide what you will fail at. The tool, reject complexity, embrace the analog. Simple works, complex fails. When you apply this law, you become light, you become aerodynamic. You are no longer a hoarder of tasks, you are a spear. A spear has one point, that is why it pierces. You have built the fortress, you have cleared the mind, you have sharpened the spear. You have done the impossible. You have become a focused individual in a distracted world. But now you face the hardest truth of all. Getting focused is one thing, staying focused is another. You can do this for a day, you can do it for a week, but can you do it for a year? Can you do it for a decade? The world will never stop trying to break in. The entropy of life will always try to erode your walls. Focus is not a destination. You don't arrive at focus and then relax. Focus is a lifestyle. It is a daily war. You need a strategy for the long haul. You need to understand that this fortress must be defended every single morning until the day you die.
Chapter 10. The Fortress is Forever. You have reached the final chapter. You are probably feeling good about yourself. You have listened to the advice. Maybe you even cleaned your desk. Maybe you turned your phone to grayscale. You feel a surge of control. You feel like you have won the war. I am here to crush that feeling. You have not won the war. You have merely won a single battle. The biggest lie in the world of self-help is the idea of the finish line. We want to believe that if we just set up the right system, if we just buy the right app, if we just build the fortress once, we are safe forever. We think focus is a destination. We think it is a place we arrive at, unpack our bags, and live in happily ever after. You are wrong. Focus is not a destination. Focus is a discipline. Entropy is the law of the universe. Things fall apart. Order degrades into chaos. Iron rusts. Weed grows. If you stop maintaining a house, the roof leaks. If you stop maintaining your body, your muscles atrophy. And if you stop maintaining your focus, the distraction returns. It does not return slowly. It returns instantly. It rushes in like water through a cracked dam. The moment you think, "I've got this handled," you have lost. The moment you get arrogant, the algorithm wins. Maintenance. You must view focus as hygiene. You do not shower once and say, "Good, I'm clean for the rest of my life." You shower every day. If you don't, you stink. You do not brush your teeth once. You do it every morning and every night. If you don't, you rot. Focus is the hygiene of the mind. Every morning you wake up in a world that wants to dirty your mind. The news cycle is fresh. The emails are fresh. The notifications are fresh. The chaos is new every single day. If you do not wake up and actively rebuild the walls of your fortress, the world will walk right in. You have to set the phone to airplane mode again. You have to clear the desk again. You have to say no to the coffee chat again. It is repetitive. It is mundane. It is unsexy. Guard the gate every single day. The enemy is patient. The technology companies are not sleeping. They are hiring engineers right now to figure out how to bypass your defenses. They are designing brighter colors, louder sounds, and smarter algorithms to break your will. They are betting that you will get lazy. They are betting that you will slip. Do not take the bait. You must wake up every morning with the mindset of a soldier on watch. You check the perimeter, you lock the doors, you secure the line. Some days it will be easy. Some days it will be a war. It doesn't matter. The standard remains the same. Guard the gate every single day.
If you slip for 1 day, you lose momentum. If you slip for 2 days, you lose the habit. If you slip for 3 days, you are back to being a slave. Do not negotiate with the standard. Do not say, "I'll just relax this weekend." Distraction does not take weekends off. Your potential does not take weekends off. This is the price of greatness. The rent is due every day. You have to pay it. The compound effect. Why do we do this? Why do we suffer the boredom? Why do we fight the daily battle? We do it because of the math. We do it for the compound effect. Most people underestimate what they can do in a year and overestimate what they can do in a day. They try to pull an all-nighter once a month and think they're working hard. That is not work. That is manic panic. Real power comes from the accumulation of boring, focused days. If you can secure just 1 hour of true, deep, fortress-level focus every single day, you are already ahead of 90% of the population. Why? Because 90% of the population has never done an hour of deep work in their lives. They work in 3-minute bursts. They're constantly interrupted. Their output is shallow. 1 hour makes you dangerous. But if you can secure the 4-hour block, if you can stack 4 hours of uninterrupted creation every single day for a year, you become untouchable. Let's do the math. 4 hours a day, 6 days a week for 52 weeks, that is 1,248 hours of deep work. Do you know what you can build in 1,248 hours? You can write 3 books. You can code an entire software platform. You can build a business from 0 to 1 million. While your competition is scrolling, you are stacking bricks. 1 brick, another brick, another brick. At first, it doesn't look like much. It looks like a pile of bricks. But then, suddenly, you step back and there is a wall. Then a tower, then a city. Consistency is the killer. The hare runs fast and takes a nap. The tortoise just doesn't stop. Be the tortoise with a jetpack. You don't need to be a genius. You don't need to be talented. You just need to be consistent. Talent is overrated. Talent is usually just a lack of discipline in disguise. I will take a person with average intelligence and a fortress mindset over a distracted genius any day of the week. The distracted genius starts 10 projects and finishes none. The fortress builds one thing until it dominates the earth. Consistency is the killer. Look at the people you admire. Look at the masters. They are not flashy. They are relentless. They show up, they do the work, they go home, they do it again tomorrow. They are boring, and they are rich. Stop looking for the hack. The hack is showing up for day 100 with the same intensity as day 1. Identity shift. Finally, we arrive at the core transformation.
Up until now, you have been a person trying to focus. You have been a person using techniques. That is not enough. Techniques fail. Willpower fades. Motivation dies. You need something stronger than motivation. You need identity. You need to change who you are. You are not trying to cut down on screen time. You are a person who does not waste life on screens. You are not trying to get some work done. You are a machine of production. You must internalize the fortress. You must become the fortress. I am the fortress. Nothing gets in. When a distraction comes your way, it shouldn't be a struggle to resist it. It should simply bounce off you. It should be incompatible with your existence. A vegan doesn't need willpower to not eat a steak. They just don't eat steak. It's not who they are. You don't need willpower to not check TikTok. You just don't do it. It's beneath you. It's poison. When you shift your identity, the friction disappears. You stop fighting yourself. You simply act in alignment with your nature. Your nature is focus. Your nature is depth. Your nature is excellence. I am the fortress. Nothing gets in. People will notice. They will see the look in your eye. They will see that you are not present for their nonsense. They will respect you or they will fear you. Good. Let them scroll. Let them drift. Let them be leaves blowing in the wind. You are a rock. The wind blows and the rock does not move. You have the tools. You have the philosophy. You have the command. The manual is complete. The blueprint is in your hands. But a blueprint cannot build a house. A map cannot walk the path. You have listened to me for hours. You have nodded your head. You have agreed. But agreement is cheap. Action is expensive. You are standing at the threshold. Behind you is your old life, the noise, the anxiety, the wasted potential. Ahead of you is the fortress, the silence, the pain, the glory. You can turn this audio off and go back to sleep. You can check your notifications right now and forget everything I just said. Or you can step through the gate. This is not the end of the book. This is the beginning of the work. We have 1 minute left. I am going to give you one final command. I am going to ask you to do one thing. And if you cannot do this one thing, then everything we have discussed is useless. Prepare yourself. You have the blueprint. You understand the enemy. But knowledge without action is just another distraction. The world is waiting for you to log back in, to scroll, to like, to obey. They want you weak. They want you irresponsive. They want you to be a spectator in your own life. Do not give them the satisfaction. You have built the fortress. Now you must defend it. It will be quiet. It will be boring. It will be hard. And that is exactly why you will win. Because while they are swiping, you are building. While they are reacting, you are creating. Here is your first test. Do not click on the next video. Do not check the comments. Do not look at your notifications. I want you to sit in silence for 60 seconds and visualize the work you are about to do. Then attack it.
The fortress is closed. Get to work.